How does it
Sure.
feel when your iPad and MacBook has outperformed the portfolio this year?
Brilliant. Like, as they say, you buy something, you buy some expensive car, there is always one person, you are buying depreciating asset, and you buy a certain watch, it's always you are buying depreciating asset. And then you buy a MacBook, there is always one person, buy some Windows laptop. MacBooks are just, again, depreciating asset, but MacBook just got expensive in India. And I would like to explain this story. So I think in 2 days ago, on Friday or Thursday, probably Thursday, Apple has announced that they will be increasing their MacBook price and iPad prices also. The reason behind this is the shortage of memory, because, and you can see in various model the hike is from 14 odd percent to even 73% in Apple TV 4K. So, as they used to say, Apple is a premium kind of product, or it's again premium actually with such hike. We haven't seen such hike from consumer electronics kind of brands on their products. But Apple is the first one to accept that they are not able to afford, you can say, expensive memory, which is the, like, AI super cycle has been the reason, prime reason behind this thing. Uh, like, that Apple is not able to afford memory, so they are shifting this cost onto their consumer.
So I have a question for you, as I do not have too much of a tech background. What do you mean they are facing the heat from the AI super cycle?
All right, so I will explain you with one simple thing. So there are memory makers company who make these memories, and first we will see what are actually memories. So there are various type of memories. So one is your DRAM. It's a working memory. Like, let's assume we are running this on our laptop, so we are using such kind of memory at the moment. Then there are storage or SSD. We see 256 GB, 512 GB, 1 TB, those kind of things. That's another type of memory. And then there is one more specific, which is high bandwidth memory. Now the problem is there are certain memory makers, SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron, SanDisk. Now we are seeing AI super cycle. Now these companies, these memory makers, sell their memories to players like Nvidia or AMD. They use this into their GPUs, and then cloud companies like Google Cloud, Oracle, or AWS, these guys buy this, you can say, this unit, if we want to say. And when cloud buyers have the access to these units, the AI companies that we see, OpenAI, Anthropic, or XAI, Perplexity, and these kind of companies, they use those units in their operation. So whenever you say thank you chat GPT, you are contributing in this inflation cycle, because now you are burning that memory. Now the problem is these companies likes of Micron and all, like, I would like to show this to you. Yeah, you can see these are the returns of memory players. So Micron 1 year return 807%, SanDisk 4300% return in last 1 year, Samsung did 458%, and SK Hynix 841%. Now memory used to be a commodity kind of thing, but at the moment these guys are taking large orders because demand is coming from, we saw that thing, how OpenAI is doing this circular kind of thing. They are giving order to each other.
Yes.
These companies are the base layer of that circular thing. These guys are providing that memory actually. And when they know there is huge demand around the memory, so anyways they will be delivering it to who are buying in bulk. So companies like Apple used to lock few years, like multi-years deal, and Apple always have the cash, so they can afford to pay early, or you can say these companies will prefer Apple as a client. But at the moment, what is happening? The price of memory has gone up. The reason has been these OpenAI, Anthropic, and such companies. So that's the case.
Interesting. Interesting. So we are contributing to making our own products expensive.
Right. So you can say, and now people will be questioning like why these companies are not able to produce more memory. Like it's really hard. It takes time to generate such kind of production. And one more thing, these companies are really smart. Even if they have the capability to do it, they will not be doing it because they also want to, play the super cycle. Like it's just like oil cartel, right? They keep on doing this, ramping up production or sometimes slowing it down as per their, you can say, incentives. So that's been
Right.
the case. And I was looking at the numbers of Micron. So I would just add it. So Micron recently posted their earnings. They did $28 billion profit with 84% margin. That's gross margin for recent quarter. 5 years ago, for the same quarter, they did $1.7 billion, and their margin was 42%. So margin has doubled, and it is not some 1-2% margin or some kirana kind of shop which operates on thin margins. So they somehow managed to double it up. This is going from 42 to 84%, and profit has grown 1.74 to 28 billion. That's like 14 odd times, 14, 15 times. So that's been the case, and
Insane
that's
super
why
cycle.
your and one more thing, the Micron, despite this 800% gain in last 1 year, it's still trading at somewhere around 10p or something. It's that's been the case because memory used to be a commodity kind of a thing earlier. So these stocks were
Yeah,
commodity
US
kind
has
of.
created crazy wealth now from this
Yeah, let's
sector.
see how it plays out. SanDisk, as they say in crypto, SanDisk made wife changing money, as they say in crypto. 42% up in 1 year.
4200, yeah.
Yeah, 4200%, right? So that's the case. Now let's see what happens from here on. But to understand the inside of industry, what's happening, we are again introducing one more guest. So we will be welcoming.
So, yeah.
Just
So
allow us a second.
we have the second guest for the day.
Cool.
Hi guys.
So Zain is with us. Just to introduce Zain, Zain works as account manager in Dell Technologies, and Dell Technologies usually assemble various components of their laptops. It includes memory and you can say storage or a bunch of other things, and they sell
Right.
it. So it's just like another. I would say
Mhm.
it's like Acer or HP, those kind of business. So what's happening inside the industry, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? I've been listening to you guys for a while, and it's going good for you guys, I think so.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We are
Yes,
able to clock at least
we're waiting to hear from you
70%.
now.
Right. So, right now you were mentioning about the types of RAM, right, Sumit. So, just to
Yeah.
put on that, you mentioned DRAM, you mentioned SSDs. But right now, in the market, we have HBMs, which are high bandwidth memory, right? So,
Hmm.
these are 3D stacked chips used as a GPU accelerator. Okay. So, what is happening right now? These chips are used by companies like ChatGPT, Anthropic in their data centers. And HBM provides a much more higher bandwidth than the consumer ones, SSGs or DRAM. And they have a much more higher margins, right? So what happened when the AI started popping up? So these companies started placing huge orders. And when they placed huge orders, they placed orders for HBMs and Micron, SK Hynix, companies like Samsung, they move their productions from DRAM, SSDs to HBMs. क्योंकि उनको बनाने को जो कॉस्ट लगता था दैट वाज लाइक 3x ऑफ अगर एक डी रैम बनाने का कॉस्ट लग रहा है दैट इज लाइक 3x ऑफ टू मेक दैट ऑफ HBM. But HBM gives you much more larger margins. And on the same point, DRAM cost what? $30, $60, right? And HBMs cost way more than that. So in companies ने अपना interest ही shift कर लिया. They have shifted their interest towards manufacturing HBMs because that is giving them huge margins. So just to give you an example, StarKit is one of the projects which is led by SoftBank. and Oracle and OpenAI, right? So Stargate has logged in with Hynix on of 9 lakh HBM wafers on a monthly basis. And Stargate is one of those projects where they are creating a community of data centers within US, and it's supposed to be valued at $500 billion by the end when the data centers are completed. So all these RAM productions, all these memory consumptions are going into data center, and consumer manufacturers have, like consumer manufacturing of RAMs have been stopped. तो उसकी वजह से price, because there is a demand supply constraint in the market. Now there are RAMs available in the market, but the demand is way more, and people have to buy. Corporates have to buy because they have their own refresh cycles. They are buying, and they are buying at a much more larger rate. The RAM cost has grown up to 600%. The consumer RAMs because of this. And to basically, if I say to if people ask you when it's going to get stable, it's not going to get stable. To get such level of production, जैसे अभी सुमित ने भी mention करा था थोड़ी देर पहले कि to get such level of production, it's gonna take at least 3 to 4 years to set up those companies. People are working on it. Samsung, Hynix, they are working on it. They are going to set up those companies in Taiwan, I suppose. There was a news across that. But it will take time. The price won't be coming way down, but it will be somewhat leveling up. But till that time, if people ask what's the right time to buy these products, I would say now, because it's going to go up, up and up and up. It's not going to come down for consumers. So this is there. Other than that, if I come across other numbers, Micron has done 22 billion logged in period for HBMs, right? So these are the numbers which can state what is actually happening in the market. So हमारे time पे, like what if you ask कि what are the problems we are facing in the market with the consumer, तो हम कस्टमर के पास जा रहे हैं, कस्टमर को हम कह रहे हैं कि this is the price hike happening. Customer is like, I bought this for 1 lakh rupees about a month ago, and now you're giving me the same laptop for what, 1,50,000, 1,60,000. It's not justifiable for them to on their organizational level and for their budgets as well. But it's the case right now. Either they are holding out, they are not doing the refresh, or they are going ahead and they have to buy it. And this is happening across everyone because these are the major RAM providers. Right, earlier this was only related to RAM, but moving forward, it has started to happen with AI related processors as well and GPU segments as well. So वहाँ पे भी अभी अगर shortage हो रही है तो we are not able to provide that. Or how we are dealing with it, if you ask, तो वहाँ पे we are basically try to see who are the players in the market, who are the customers in the market who are able to provide us better margins. क्योंकि we are also suffering on the margins. We are getting the RAMs at a very bigger, higher cost, और फिर हम उसको अपने margins में add करके अगर if we are selling it off, अभी इस point of time पे ऐसा नहीं है कि if there is a demand and we are ready to supply it. We are only ready to supply those demands where the margins are more.
Fair point.
Fair enough. So, I mean, it looks like a case. As far as I can break down for the audience, it looks like a case. Let's assume I own a manufacturing facility which manufactures clothes for both genders. And let's assume there is a scheme or something which gives extra money to women, like for, to buy their dresses and all, like some allowances or something, so that these girls or women are ready to buy clothes at higher price, and I produce clothes for both gender. But the moment I see that this section of society can buy things at premium, I will actually stop manufacturing clothes for men. And that's something which is happening here. Clothes for men is these consumer kind of RAM, while dresses for women are these HBMs, which Zain said. So I would not think about the society or something. I will be using my facility to build something which is in demand, and they are ready to pay premium, right? I mean, girls are anyways ready to buy expensive dresses. So why I would be, why I would be bothered
Working
about, yeah,
DRAMs. Right.
So that's been the case, I think.
Right. But
And
if you,
yeah, go ahead.
you were saying something. No, you go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was saying, I mean, Zain was the first person. I think we had a conversation 6 months ago or some. Like he told me to buy these stocks, Intel or SanDisk kind of stocks, and I told him, I works on technicals or something, and maybe it's everything is priced in what you are seeing in industry. I think even in last
Right.
6 months, stock have doubled or tripled probably. So
Tripled, more than that, 400% some of the stocks.
yeah,
Right.
right. So
But if I mention this, Jesse, there are other OEMs like HP, Lenovo, Acer. These are all OEMs, but Apple was the one who suffered at the last. And major reason behind that is because they have their inventory sorted for that period duration, and they also had a huge gross margins in the previous quarters, but eventually they got hit recently. And now, when they have to manufacture the new supply demand, to manufacture the new products to meet the new supply demand, then in that scenario, they have to raise the prices. And Apple works differently. Apple doesn't work on the third party RAM basis. They manufacture their own chips, right? They have their own unified RAMs. So that's why they were able to control this so far. But right now they have also been hit. And now, as you stated earlier, Apple being a premium brand at a premium price, now people will be buying at a premium price.
But will the impact also come on iPhones then, or will it be restricted to the Macs and the iPads?
Eventually it will, because
so I was
yeah.
regarding this. I was looking at the data. Apple makes $416 billion annually. Their iPhone revenue is $209 billion. That's around 50%. Mac and iPad revenue is somewhere around $60 billion. And I think they launched their iPhones in September or something. They just don't want to hurt the sentiment probably at the moment by hiking the price of iPhones.
Prices.
That could be the case.
Right.
So probably this iPhone, I think 18 or something, which will launch, will be on the expensive side.
We can expect that, but I don't think they'll be doing that very briefly, because they have a very their customer base is very loyal to them, right? People having iPhones, they usually upgrade, right? So अगर वो करते भी है at a very aggressive level, so they might lose on to some customers. But I think there will be a rise, but not very aggressive, because they have a huge demand in the market, or they are able to control it so far for the laptops, so they'll try to push it. That's what I think. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. And I think it's easier for them to launch a new device and they can set up a new benchmark. I mean, at the moment, it's like, when you are hiking a price of something which was available at cheaper price, it's hard for customer to digest. When we see even buying certain shoe from a website, if it was available 3,000 yesterday and it's now 3,300, right? It's hard for us to digest that thing. But let's assume Nike launched their new shoe at 7,000 or newer version at whatever. I mean, they can set the benchmark at their will. There is no such sentiment, right? Or you can say some anchoring kind of bias, if I'm right. So they can actually, and I believe iPhone was actually getting affordable. People may not believe this, but inflation adjusted wise, iPhone used to cost, like, I have bought base model. I still use iPhone 13, 128 GB. I bought in 21, I think, when it was launched. So I bought it somewhere around 80,000. And even if I see prices of what's the latest iPhone right now, 17 or
17 was around,
So
80,
it's still same, somewhere around 85,000. Worst case 90,000, I think. Even if they are selling it 1 lakh, they are giving some 256 GB storage probably. That's if that's their new base variant. So iPhones actually became more affordable if they just hike it up by 20 odd %. I think that's not a huge thing. They haven't done that in last 5 odd years, right? So that trend of going in queues waiting in lines like
Hmm.
local train ticket or something, that trend will still continue in India. That's my belief.
Uh,
Doesn't matter at what
Even
price they
though,
mark.
I think so. That will be there. Yep. Any questions for me, guys?
You can
I
check
think we summed
comments
up.
if any questions for Zain.
Yeah, in case you want to ask questions around this segment, you can ask, and Zain will be answering it live.
Mhm. Mhm.
And anyways, we were talking about iPhones, right?
Mhm.
So many people just buy it on
Mhm.
EMIs,
Yeah.
right?
I
They
did
just
that.
don't.
Hopefully they'll use cred. They'll use cred for EMI.
Zain himself bought it on EMI, so it's easier
EMI, yeah.
actually.
It's easier. I had OnePlus 12R earlier, and I broke that phone while I was driving a scooty, and the next day there was a Flipkart sale. So I thought good opportunity. Let's do
And
it on
He bought the
EMI.
dip.
the dip looks like they used to show MRPs earlier. Now they show just EMI. So it anyways look pretty cheaper, and you can just extend the timeline of loan and keep the EMI amount similar, right? Even if you just hike up the price of iPhone. So that's been the case, and I believe India is one of the largest market for Apple at the moment. That's the reason.
Right.
Yeah, everybody just wants to own the iPhone. All right, we got a comment that 17 series price will go up. So that's one comment possible.
That's a statement.
Yeah, let's see what happens. And they will be launching new iPhones on September. So we are doing this on 27th June. So 3 months. Let's see what happens. Anyways, but crux from the conversation with Zain is that
Basically
consumer are treated as second class citizens, and the main memory, you can say, is being allocated to hyperscalers or the likes of OpenAI, directly or indirectly, right?
If you see the numbers across HBM as well, so HBM they had a market share of around 20 to 22 billion dollars in 2025, and they are expected to have around 58 to 60 billion dollars by 2026. So it's growing at a 2x rate, and company, not just OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, all these companies. So they have their own project called Stargate, which is creating data centers. But other companies like GCP and like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, they'll be working on enhancing their data centers across worldwide, right? So they'll also be procuring these HBMs. And these HBMs are important because they are accelerating the overall AI, like not in terms of everything, right? So they'll also be procuring it. So these companies, Hynix, Samsung, Micron, they'll be totally focusing on that because they have a huge margins, and they won't be consumed by the consumer's product, because consumer products are already, like, they have to produce a lot of them to get few margins out of it, right? So even though if they are getting 2x margin from a consumer product, and if they are getting 5x margin through HBMs, why not do that? And it's an easy thing to deal with. They get an order from one of these bigger organizations. We need this much amount of HBMs for this much amount of period of time, and they go on, they plan it, and they provide the supply to them, right? And they are having good margins over there, so they are happy. Companies like Hynix, Samsung, they इनके पास RAM की shortage नहीं है. They have it, they can control it. Right now they are ruling it. So and they'll continue to do so for next 2 to 3 years. I think so.
So for people like us, they said AI will cure cancer, but we just got expensive MacBooks and probably iPhones.
Right.
And cancer is still there.
Cancer is still there, and other products as well. Dell, HP, Lenovo, everything.
But we just got inflation, and cancer is still there.
Cancer.
Cool. Thank you, Zain, for joining this call. And
yeah, that breakdown was lovely.
Brilliant insights, actually. Right.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Would
thank
love
you
to
so
have
much,
you on the
guys.
show again for breaking things down. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Best of luck, guys. Bye.
Thank you.